Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new Let's Play of Final Fantasy III Pixel Remastered. I am Marusu, and I like starting all my videos by talking a little bit about the game. So, Final Fantasy III was first released on the Famicom in Japan in 1990. It's the third game in the franchise, and due to localization issues and the rise of the Super Nintendo across the world, Final Fantasy III ended up not getting ported immediately to America, and much like with its predecessor, Final Fantasy II, was ultimately skipped in favor of Final Fantasy IV, as Square wanted to move more, push towards the Super Nintendo more than rehashing older NES and Famicom games in the West. A remake of Final Fantasy III was scheduled to be released in Japan um, in 2001, but it was ultimately canceled, and a remake of the game wouldn't be seen until 2006, with the 3D version finally coming to America 16 years later after the Final Fantasy III's first release. Now, this version of the game, this version of the game is not that version. This one is more in line with the original NES version of the game, which Westerners and people across the world did not have access to unless they had a Japanese Famicom system and a way to play the original game. This version of the game was not playable until just a few years ago in 2021, when it was finally released with the Pixel Remaster versions of the game. Now, the differences between the two games is very minimal. It's not much, but the 3D version of the game was voice acted, I'm pretty sure, um, as well as all of the four main characters in the game were had definitive names and were integrated into the story more often. This game is not like that. This game, you start off with the four characters: red, blue, green, and pink. And they're not so integrated into the story. They're more generic characters that you can make however you want. Now, granted, because I know the characters' names of the real names that they use in promotional or any other crossovers with any Final Fantasy games, I'm going to name them after those characters. Red. What the hell? Oh, my bad. Uh, Red being Luneth, blue being Arc, green being Ignis, and pink being Refia. These are the definitive names of the characters in the Final Fantasy III series, but in playing this version of the game, you can name them whatever you want, right? It's your game, your story, do whatever you want. But for obvious reasons, I want to use their definitive names. If a character has a definitive name in any Final Fantasy game going forwards, I'm not changing it. I want it to stay the name that it is for immersion reasons. That being said, let's get going. Into the silence was the Golgians prophesied. The great earthquake was only the beginning. The tremors tore the land asunder. The crystal sources of the world's light were swallowed into the depths, and monsters emerged from the chasms. I missed that. Yet that was nothing compared to the catastrophe to come. Sorry, I'm not a fast reader. Something fathomless, ominous, and laden to the sorrow looms the horizon, but hope has not yet gone completely. 4 souls will be blessed with the power of light, and so it shall begin. 4 orphaned youths raised by Topapa in the rural village of were out to test their mettle. They came across the cave, one of the very same that formed when the crystals were lost to the earth. What started as a simple game of exploration became so much more. Whee! Ouch. Looks like we fell through the sinkhole. Now what do we do? Are you sure this is a good idea? Maybe we can climb out. You wanted to go exploring. Don't be such a scaredy cat. Hey, quit squabbling, you two. We need to find a way out of here. Alright. And we get into a battle with a goblin. I'm about to turn that sound down a little bit. It's a little loud. Alright, so in most Final Fantasy games, a goblin is quite possibly the first thing you will ever see. What were those monsters doing here? We're way over our heads. Let's get out as fast as possible. Right. Yep. Okay, cool. Space. Alright, I'm going to... Actually, you know what? It might be fine in the recording. I'll turn this down some. If it's too silent in the recording, I'll put it back up. Alright. So, we are in the altar cave. There's 4 enemies here. And a few chests. There's 0 items in here and 14 chests. Start off by getting a leather shield and a potion. Now, Final Fantasy 3 is a fun... Oh. Huh? What is it? There's something strange about that rock. Now that you mention it. Alright, yeah. So Final Fantasy 3 is a fun game, and I always compared it as being an upgraded version with a more fleshed out story than the original Final Fantasy 1. Another leather shield. Give that to Ark. Here's 2 more goblins. There, the music's not so overpowering now. Nice. But you'll see why I compare the two. Potion. 2 blue wisps and a carbuncle. This is the first appearance of a carbuncle in the Final Fantasy franchise. It will become another staple going forwards. In all of my videos and past Let's Plays, I talk about the staples and their first appearances. Carbuncle was originally just a generic monster But later on, it ended up becoming like a summon or a just a being of light. Carbuncle has appeared numerous times throughout the series. I want to say this is the only iteration where he's an actual just monster. And you can also use Q to do auto battle. It speeds things up a little bit and has everyone just use their the attacks you set them to do. Another chest, a potion. Okay, I want to go this way. I'm going to actually set my default speed to run. Look, a spring. Yeah, but why is this such an odd color? Let's take a sip. I'm not too sure about this. More goblins. What was that? Hopefully that didn't appear on my my recording. Game glitched a little bit. Alright, Ark's job went up to level 2. You can't do anything with the jobs yet. That was weird. Hopefully my recording's okay. Alright. Hopefully that didn't appear in the recording. Alright, so let's drink this water. The party drinks from the wellspring. Wow, I feel revitalized. HP and MP reserves, and all allies got revived. Magical spring water is magical. 4 more goblins. There's still... Yeah, there's still another enemy here I have not seen I want to find. Alright, everyone leveled up. Nice. Still another enemy here I want to find, so let's see if I can find it. Let's run around the spring. Goblin. I'm going to try to make this playthrough's videos a little bit shorter. Try not to shove an entire dungeon into one video. Just cut it into 2 parts. There it is. An eye fang. These monsters look horrible. Scary. But yeah, for the longer dungeons for the series going forward, I'm going to cut the videos in parts rather than have the entirety of the video, so my videos don't go on for like 45 minutes to an hour. Alright, so that's all the enemies, that's all the chests. Let's move on. Yeah, we don't have anything really else in our arsenal right now, other than just generic attack. Luna's job level 1 up. Alright, so let's go through here. And walk forwards. What is going on? Malicious force attacks the party. If you're playing the Pixel Remaster version, make sure you quick save before you do this. But you don't have like any other, like I can't do anything other than attack and items. So it's very, very difficult to actually lose against the land turtle. Like, you just have to make sure you heal up if you get too low on HP. That's why you have so many potions. But all you really have is attack. So just attack them and you should be fine. If I stop missing. Ooh, that was nice. There you go. See, and a 1. Didn't even have to heal. And everyone leveled up. And their job levels went up too. Now, yeah, I'll get into it after this scene. All right. So yeah, their level and their job level is different, right? I'll get into what job level is here in a second, but their level is essentially just like any other game. Their level increases their stats, makes them stronger. Job level is proficiency of a certain job, and I'll go into more detail on that here in a sec. The crystal shines brightly. The four have been chosen. Whoa, the crystal is talking. I give unto you the last of the light, and with it the last hope of a fading world. As things stand, light will soon disappear, and the balance of the world will be destroyed. Accept the light into your hearts, and the crystals will grant you unimaginable strength. You have been chosen to be the bearers of the final chance of hope. You cannot allow light to fade from the world. The party is enveloped by a bright light. Ah! What's this? Costumes changed. Within the light, the will of the crystals surged through them. They decided to accept their destiny. And so began a journey to dispel the darkness and return light from the world. And there's the Final Fantasy main theme. The young heroes received the crystal's power. And with it, the world's last light of hope. Warrior, monk, white mage, black mage, and red mage jobs are now available. Step upon the magic sigil to be transported to the surface. Embrace your destiny, warriors of light. Alright, so those jobs I just got, right? Warrior, monk, white mage, red mage, and black mage are all the jobs from the original Final Fantasy game with the exception of Thief. This is the first game that incorporates that brings to you interchangeable job classes. You can change your class at any time throughout the game. Different classes will have different stat growths upon leveling up, and their job level will determine their stat bonuses that they'll give you on certain stats. Like white mage will have a stat bonus on spirit, where black mage will have a stat bonus on intellect. The higher your job level is for the selected class, because each class has a different job level. As you can see down there, Onion Knight is level 4, Warrior is level 1. They all have a different job level. Now, so you can pick and choose which ones you really want, or you can just level up them all. But be warned that when you level up your character's level, they will get stat bonus increases upon leveling up based on what class they are. So you can min-max this game by choosing a type of class for a selected character that you want to go. Like if you wanted to make Luneth a full-on tank, I would say go for Warrior right now and then swap them to a more tanky class later on. These will not be the only classes we are getting in this game. I'm not going to tell you what the classes are, but these are not the only classes. So it's like going through the game, you can select a character. Like if you want someone to be a designated white mage, you can put them on white magic for now, and then maybe change them later if you get a better white mage class. If So if you're going through it the first time, I would just suggest just be the classes that you're comfortable with, that makes up a good party composition for you, and work with it like that. Test things out. Onion Knight is a freelancer. They can do anything. But they don't get as much stat boosts upon leveling up, or stat bonuses on the job level ups. But they do give the stat bonuses to every stat. So this is a more balanced, everything can go up, whereas everything else is more defined, right? So I'm going to go with what I want right now, and that's going to be Lunith is going to be a warrior. Yeah. Arc is going to be... I'll make Arc a monk for now. And I'll make Ignis a black mage. I thought there was a button that allowed me to cycle through all these people. No? Oh, I had to go back. And then I'll make Refia a white mage. And that's what I'm going to go for right now. Now, granted, as you can see, each job can only use certain things. Like the Onion Knight can use knives, swords, bows and arrows, shields, helmets, armor, clothing, fists, like gloves and rings, accessories. The same thing that the warrior can do. But the monk can only use nunchaku, helmets, armors, clothing, gloves, and rings. White mage can only use staffs, rods, helmets, armors, clothing, and rings. No gloves. Black mage can do daggers, staffs, or maybe that's rod. I don't know which one's. I think that's rod. Knives, rods, bow and arrow, helmet, armor, clothes, and rings. And red mage can do essentially everything. Knives, swords, staffs, rods, bows and arrows, shields, helmet, armor, clothing, ring, gloves, and rings. So, as of right now, your monk's not going to have anything in their hands, but throughout the Final Fantasy franchise, mostly monks you want to keep barehanded anyways, because they get a hidden stat bonus for fighting with bare hands. Not entirely sure if that's the case for this game. I have to look that up, but I want to use a monk nonetheless. And sadly, my white mage does not have a weapon, because I don't have anything for her to use. But this is just how it's going to be. And then you want to adjust your formations accordingly. Put your mages and your long-range attackers in the back. More physical and defensive people up front. And I'm going to exit this place. Leave? Yes. And welcome to the world of Final Fantasy III. This song is titled Eternal Wind. It is probably my favorite overworld theme. I could sit here and listen to it for hours, and I want to end the video on this song. So, like I said, I'm going to be doing smaller episodes this time. It will sadly become more videos, but it will be more concise, compact videos that are not, an hour long. I'm try to do it under 30 minutes now, even if I have to cut a dungeon in half. That being said, enjoy Eternal Wind. If you like what I do here, like and subscribe to my channel. If you have any questions or any fun facts about Final Fantasy 3, because I personally don't know much about Final Fantasy 3. Not as much as I do as like from like 1 and 2. But anything you want to give me a heads up on, uh what is your favorite starting lineup? Let me know that. Get some engagement in the comments, and I will see you all in the next video. Enjoy Eternal Win, and until then, take care and bye bye.